So everything started with a bit of a passion to screen movies to people. My family's got a restaurant in Sandy Bay, an Italian restaurant, and I started doing black and white Italian films. And the atmosphere that created, I just absolutely fell in love with. So I was always kind of had the idea of screening films that I absolutely loved, which I knew everyone else would love, which was from the 80s and 90s. So I got Rewind off the ground with just pure curiosity and just venturing into the unknown, really. So one day I was riding my bike, going for an exploratory sort of cycle, and I was coming through this area and this door was open in the room that we were sitting in right now in the hidden theatre at Kickstart Arts. And there was a gentleman who was the caretaker at the time in the area, and I asked him what this space was. And long story short, we basically came to an agreement that I could lease the space out to screen films. The initial choices were Princess Bride or Neverending Story. Couldn't get those. Third choice was Labyrinth, and it was a great choice because it was huge. Sent a massive ripple out around Hobart that there was a cinema screening Labyrinth. One thing I've found that's been really important throughout this whole process of running Rewind Cinema is the experience that people have when they come to a screening here. I never really planned for it to happen, but somehow I ended up jumping up on stage after the screening and just talking with the people in the cinema about the movie and about the experience, saying, hey guys, thanks for coming along, appreciate the support, here's some facts about the film, that sort of thing. And what's evolved out of that space is at the end of every screening, prior to me jumping up on stage, people are cheering and clapping at the end of the film as the credits are rolling, which is a great feeling and experience to have. One thing I've seen that's been really cool is generations of people that grew up watching these films coming in, and this was one of the main reasons I kind of started this, was to share my generation and a little bit older, sharing the films that they grew up with their younger generation, with their children in the one space. And it's happening, and people are coming along and saying, I just brought my child along to watch this film that I loved as a kid, and now they love it, and it just makes it pretty damn cool. Man, it makes it a really cool space to happen. And then that generational thing where they're saying, we love that film, and parents loved it. It's pretty unique. When you're working on something, if you're doing it by yourself, it can become a fun thing, but it's nice to share the fruits of your labour, I guess. And having my brother on board, as well as Scott and Jacob, or Jakey as I call him, to be there and evolve, creating a team that people throw ideas out and they're there to help when it's going bad or it's good, and it makes it so much more than it is when you've got that team that's fun to work with and integral to helping keep this ship running, I guess, and this whole experience operating. They've been, I wouldn't be able to do it without them, so it's really cool that they're on board and helping. People have said that sometimes watching movies at home, even with families, etc., it can be a solitary experience. One's watching it on their phone in their room, one's on an iPad somewhere, one's on the laptop. Having here, you're tapping into a love, an emotion from the parents, because these movies are full of emotion. I mean, Neverending Story, Princess Bride, Edward Scissorhands, they're all like emotion. So you're tapping into this love that the parents have from this memory of being children, and then basically forcing their kids to come along sometimes, and the kids end up loving it, and it's this shared experience with a family in a space with other families, with other individuals and girlfriend and boyfriends. It's this really cool thing, bringing people out of that solitary screen in the face sort of experience and opening up into this shared space is really cool.